Hi, my name's Paul Cresswell. Welcome to Paul's Tackle Reviews. The purpose of this channel is to give you reviews of fishing tackle and baits that's been out on the bank, tried and tested by an unbiased, unsponsored angler, and that's me. I've got a new microphone today, so hopefully you'll notice the improvement in sound. I will also notice the lack of trip hazard from having a wire, just in case anybody's interested. That's what I've got. Today I'm looking at bait and I'm looking at expander pellets, and I've used them all year round, almost every year since 2002. I think that's when I first got into them. I don't use them as much in summer, but they're always worth having a few with you, just in case it's really tough. Some days it's the best bait. It's caught me a lot of fish and I've won a lot of money using expanders. I've tried quite a few over the years and I do prefer a lighter colour to what I'm using, and they are quite fragile. They are a soft bait when properly prepared, and you do find with some that they will split during the day if they dry out, or if they get over wet they just become unusable. So I've been using Blake's baits, and I've got their match expanders in 3mm and they're 4mm, and I will say I use these an awful lot more, hence there's less in the bag. But in the depths of winter, quite often the 3mm isn't that much bigger than a micro pellet and can just get you the odd extra bite. So I'm going to put 3 little videos on now. The first one is what I do the night before I go fishing, 10 p.m, put them in a bag, put them in the fridge, how I prepare them, what I do when I get to the bank, and then I'm going to show you what 5 hours later those same pellets are like. So let's go with the videos. Right, here's the first stage of the preparation, and I've got myself some expanders there. I've probably got enough there for about 3 sessions. You really don't need to do many. And I've got just a cheap plastic bag, so it just has 2 corners. It doesn't have loads of fancy bits. You can see there, I've got them in the corner. So what I do now is I've got a little bit of bait booster here, the Sonia Baits bait booster. Just put a squirt in and then add a tiny amount of water so that everything's covered. Twist it round a few times and then I'll put one of these clips on. So they're all in water. It's not super tight. I don't think you need to do it. This is the first stage. I'm now going to put that in my bait fridge overnight and we'll get it out tomorrow. Right, it's 9:20 in the morning. I've got last night's little package. It's all fairly solid there, so this is the kind of time I'll be doing it on the bank. So let's put them all in the water. So what you can see there, hopefully, is some have sunk and some have floated, but that's it now. I would put them in the water about 9ish, fishing 10. Are they ready to use? Yep. So Let me get a hook length. I really should have put my glasses on here. So you won't be able to see that. It's tiny. I've got a Drennan silverfish size 16. I'm taking one of the floating pellets. Why didn't you put your glasses on? Roll it round the hook. I'll do this better later. And there we have it. We've got, go on, focus. We've got a perfectly presented 4mm expander on a size 16 hook. You can use them straight away as soon as you've got them in the water. The floating ones, no need to worry about them. Under the weight of the hook, they always sink, so there's no issue there. I'll come back later and let's see what these are like in 5 hours' time. Right, we're back. It's 3 o'clock, so we looked at them about 9:30. So if you're fishing a match, you're probably in the last little bit. I've just left these sat there in the water, and I'm picking one out, and I'll put my glasses on this time, and they are still absolutely perfect. They haven't split at all. I'll take a close-up photo. That's one of the 4mm. I'll put a 3mm on the hook. What I will say is I think a 16 is just a little big for the 3mm. It's fine for 2 3mm. I tend to use an 18 if I'm doing that. Again, I'll put some close-ups because finding the focal point is difficult. But the point being, they're still perfectly great to use 5 hours later, sat in the water. Hope you found that interesting. I think what I do need to say is the hook looks really prominent in those expander pellets. Now, it's a Drennan Acolyte size 16 silverfish hook. This is a really fine wire hook, and it's only the sheer quality of the iPhone camera up close that makes it look really, really obtrusive. So these expanders, using that preparation method, produce a lovely soft bait that you can strike through when you're fishing, and they will withstand several strikes. Now, when I say strike, this isn't the old Zorro and your whole rig's coming out. It's more of a sharp lift. So it might only be a tiny bit on the butt and your pole tip's coming up maybe 2 foot, your float's coming out the water, and then if you haven't caught the fish, you just lower the rig back in, and you can get several goes with these if you put them on by rolling them onto the hook. Even in deep water, you don't need to give a big strike. It will still pull through. I fished these on one of the venues in 12 foot of water, and you don't need to do the big strike. So these are the Blakes, and they're £3.99 a bag, and a bag will last you absolutely ages. So on the video I did quite a big quantity just because it's filming and to show you. There was enough there for 3 sessions. You just need to do tiny amounts, so a handful of maybe each in the corner of a bag if you don't think you're going to do them, you can put even less in, but you get an awful lot in a bag. So this is a 700 gram bag, and I've done this kind of thing before on another video. I've weighed a small quantity a couple of times, got an average to work out how many you get 4 mils in a 700 gram bag, and that, I think it's around 15,500 baits. So if you took 100 every time you went fishing, and you'd never do that, you're going to have over 150 sessions here to cover you. So these will last a really, really long time. So look after them, keep them dry in the garage, wherever you keep your bait, and they will last for years. I'm not quite sad enough to do the same for the 3 mils. Safe to say you get more of them, so you're probably 20,000 plus 3 mils in a 700 gram bag. If you go on the Blake's website, you can order a 15 kilo bag of 4 mils for 30 quid. That's £2 a kilo. And I reckon that's around 332,000 pellets, which is going to take a bit of getting through, isn't it? So I don't feed these as a feed bait because obviously, as you've seen in the video, quite a few of them are floating semi-buoyant. It wouldn't make a feed that you can put in. If you do want to feed expanders, and it's not something I do very often, I think you need to get a pellet pump to produce a separate batch that will then sink. The ones I did in the video, I bagged them up and used them the following day, and that was fine. What I will say is you can't leave them bagged up for a few days. So again, you're only doing a small quantity. I just tend to chuck them at the end of the day. The ducks absolutely love them. I've also tried freezing them, and I didn't think they were very good when they thawed out. It's not a cost issue, this. You get tons of them, just do fresh ones whenever you're going. So they are available online, but I've now been to, I think, 3 or 4 shops that stock Blake's products. And I'm not just talking big shops like Wickersley Angling, who obviously do that. Some of the smaller shops, and even one of the shops on a venue I go, has some of these in stock. So they're easier to get hold of. I will say the Blake's ground baits are also excellent. So if you are putting an order in online, the Skimmer's Dark is brilliant in winter. The coarse carp I particularly like in summer, and I've used some of the others as well. I bought the 6 mils, but I haven't really got round to them yet. I did try and do them with some 4 mils, and I think they were a bit soft, so I think I need to prepare them slightly separately as well. And I might need to put a little bit more bait booster in. So you saw when I prepared them, I put a tiny glug of bait booster and water. I used the Sonia Bates washed out one. I quite like that. I don't think fish add that much into the flavour of one expander on the base of the base of your swim, mixed in with micros. So I use the washed out, but increasing the amount of bait booster might help me firm up some of the 6 mils for use in the summer. 2 6 mil expanders on a size 12 hook is a really good margin bait if there aren't little fish around as well. The perfect float to match up with these is probably something like a new fish Cypri. They've got a nice 1.7 mil tip, but anybody who knows me knows I like them dotted down, maybe even a blob of Vaseline, so that you can just see those bites, but you've got a nice stable rig. Most of the shot will be in the bottom foot of the rig to create a nice stable rig create the curve that Jamie Hughes goes on about, and then you've got a nice sensitive setup as well. What I will say is, if you like your current expanders, then stick with them, because they all take a bit of getting used to and they're not the same. But if you're looking for expanders or you're not getting on really with your current ones, I really do think these are worth a try. They're easy to prepare, they last all day, and you get tons of them. So it's not even an expensive bait. That's it for today. If you want to give me a like and subscribe, that's great. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them below and I'll come back to you if you've got any questions for me. Until next time, tight lines.